My son uninvited me from his wedding because his fiancée said I was too dramatic. I simply replied, understood. 2 hours later, I had 22 missed calls and a message that changed everything. My phone buzzed at 7:14 a.m. It was a message from my son, Daniel. I smiled, expecting wedding details. Instead, my heart froze at his words. Mom, we need to talk about the wedding. I typed back, sure, honey. What's wrong? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. They appeared again. Then finally, his message arrived. Mom, it's a classy event. My fiancé doesn't want you there. I blinked, confused. Why wouldn't she want me? My hands were trembling. Another message came. She thinks you're too dramatic. Too dramatic? Me? I felt a sharp sting in my chest. I stared at my reflection in the kitchen window, gray hair loose around my shoulders, coffee cooling on the counter. Just a mother. Nothing dramatic about that. I took a deep breath, and I typed one single word. Understood. I put my phone down. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I just stood there quietly. The house felt colder, quieter, like even the walls were offended for me. I walked to the living room. My son's baby pictures were on the shelf. His first smile, his first school play, his first broken tooth. I had been there for all of it, every moment. And now, I wasn't welcome at his wedding. The thought sank deep. I sat on the couch, tried to steady my breathing. Too dramatic, I whispered. Maybe I was. Or maybe they were too young to understand. My phone was silent, completely silent. The house was silent too. I tried to read a book, I couldn't focus. I tried listening to music. Everything reminded me of him. I tried cleaning the kitchen. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I finally sat down again. Time moved slowly, too slowly. 2 hours passed, and suddenly, my phone lit up. 1 call, 2 calls, 3 calls I didn't answer. 4, 5, 6 calls. I stared at the screen. It was Daniel. Why was he calling now? My heart raced. I felt anger, hurt, something else I couldn't name. I let it ring. Another call, then another, and another. I stood up slowly, walked to the window. The sun was setting. Orange light filled the room. The phone rang again. 7 calls now. I set the phone face down. I didn't want to see the screen, but it kept ringing and ringing. I felt tears rising, but not from sadness, from exhaustion, from years of giving everything, and still being told I wasn't enough. I walked to the kitchen again, filled a glass of water, took a slow sip. The phone buzzed again. A voicemail. Then another. And another. I wiped my eyes. Sat down at the table. Took a deep breath. I finally picked up the phone. My notifications were insane. Missed call. Missed call. Missed call. Message. 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 I scrolled 22 missed calls. From Daniel. Something was wrong. Very wrong. My stomach tightened. I tapped the latest message. Mom, please pick up. It's urgent. My heartbeat quickened. Urgent? Why now? I listened to the first voicemail. His voice was shaking. Mom, please, call me back. I felt my breath catch. I played the second voicemail. Mom, something happened. My grip tightened on the phone. My chest felt heavy. I clicked the third voicemail. She's crying. We need you. We need you? The irony stung. They didn't want me earlier, but suddenly they needed me now. I closed my eyes. The room felt smaller. My pulse hammered in my throat. I took a long breath, then pressed play on the fourth voicemail. Mom, we made a mistake. My eyes opened wide. Mistake? My hands went cold. I listened to the fifth voicemail. Please, Mom, it's serious. Serious? What could have gone so wrong? My chair creaked as I stood up. I walked toward the window again. The streetlights were turning on. The sky had deepened from orange to purple. My reflection stared back at me. I looked tired, older, hurt, but strong. I had always been strong. The phone buzzed again. Daniel was calling. Again. Call number 23. I hesitated. My thumb hovered over the screen. Should I answer? Should I let him wait? Should I protect my peace? Or should I be the mother I always had been? I let the call ring. My mind raced. Memories flashed. All the times he fell. All the times I picked him up. All the times he cried. All the times I held him. All the times I sacrificed. All the times I loved. Unconditionally. Suddenly, a message popped up, just one line. Short, desperate, terrifying. Mom, please. She collapsed. My breath stopped. Collapsed? My heart sank. I grabbed my keys, my coat, my bag. I didn't think twice. I didn't think at all. I just moved. Fast. I opened the door, stepped outside, locked the house behind me, and started the car. The road stretched ahead like a dark tunnel. My hands gripped the steering wheel tighter. My heart thudded painfully in my chest. Collapsed. The word kept slicing through my mind. I pressed my foot on the gas pedal. Streetlights flashed past like ghosts. My breath shook with every inhale. This wasn't how today was supposed to go. I wasn't even invited to the wedding, and now they needed me. Desperately. The irony tasted bitter, but fear drowned everything else. I turned a corner too quickly. Tires screeched. My pulse jumped. I didn't care. I just needed to reach them. Fast. My phone buzzed on the seat. Another message from Daniel. I didn't check it. My eyes were locked on the road. The hospital came into view. Cold. Bright. Unforgiving. I pulled into the parking lot. My car barely stopped before I jumped out. The air felt too thin. I ran through the automatic doors. Where is she? I gasped. The woman at the desk frowned. Name? I hesitated. My son's fiancée. The woman who didn't want me. But she was still a human. And she was in trouble. Emily Carter, I said finally. The receptionist typed quickly. Her expression shifted. Room 214. She's stable now. Stable. Relief washed through me. My knees nearly gave out. I hurried toward the elevator, pressed the button repeatedly. The doors felt painfully slow. When they opened, I stepped inside. I watched the numbers climb. My reflection stared back pale. Exhausted. Scared. The doors slid open. I walked down the hallway. The smell of disinfectant filled my lungs. Nurses whispered nearby. A monitor beeped steadily. Then I saw Daniel, sitting outside the room, head in his hands, shoulders shaking. My heart broke instantly. Daniel, I whispered. He looked up. His eyes were red. He stood quickly. Mom. His voice cracked. Something inside me crumbled. He stepped forward, and suddenly he hugged me tightly, desperately, like he was drowning. I froze for a second, then wrapped my arms around him. He shook in my embrace. I'm sorry, Mom, he whispered. Tears slipped down his cheeks. I shouldn't have uninvited you. My throat tightened. I stroked his back gently. It's okay, I breathed. His grip tightened. No, it's not. He pulled back a little. Emily fainted during the photos. His voice trembled. She hit her head. Fear flickered in his eyes again. I didn't know what to do. You did the right thing calling me, I said softly. He looked at me like a child again, vulnerable, lost. Can you come inside? The question surprised me. My heart leaped. Of course. He opened the door slowly. I stepped into the room. Emily lay on the bed, pale, fragile, eyes half open. She turned toward me. For a moment, the room was silent. Then she whispered, I'm sorry. My breath caught. I moved closer. You don't need to apologize, I said gently. She blinked back tears. I was wrong about you. Daniel stood beside her, holding her hand. He looked at me gratefully. Mom, can you stay? The question was simple, but it carried years of emotion, years of love, years of mistakes. I nodded slowly. Yes, I'll stay. Emily reached out her hand, hesitant. I gently held it. Her fingers were cold. She whispered, "Thank you for coming." Tears welled in my eyes. "Your family," I said softly. Daniel exhaled shakily, like he'd been holding his breath for hours. The tension in the room finally eased. The monitors beeped steadily. Emily's breathing calmed. Daniel rested his head on her shoulder. And I stood beside them. Quiet. Present. Welcome. Something shifted inside me. The hurt softened. The anger dissolved. Families break. But they also heal.